from our family, from mother's side. My mother had 3 brothers. First one was a fairly famous solicitor, and he was a tennis player as well. And the other 2 brothers, one was the captain of Martha Sports Club, and the other one was the mother's side. My mother had 3. What has happened?
No, we are live on YouTube. People can watch you on
something
YouTube
is repeating.
Benita is there.
Anyway,
Hi, Benita.
So there were
Wow. Since it is Mohan talking, I joined.
He just started, and YouTube is alive. Anybody who ask them to join the YouTube by Slimofamily, WWMM202210.
Yeah, Maruf, can you hear me, Maruf?
Yes.
Yeah, can you give me the meeting ID again? Some other give the meeting ID.
Meeting ID 246.
Okay.
159.
Okay.
0864.
Okay.
Passcode.
Hold on. I don't know why it got cut off.
You are there, I can see you.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
Arunian, we can see you.
Yeah, we can see Karni. Now we can.
Can you hear me, Maru?
Yes.
Good. Okay, fine.
Yeah, Mohan, sorry for interrupting. Where is Mohan?
I think we lost Mohan.
I thought I saw him now.
Can we call him? Yeah, he'll be there in a few minutes. Karin, have you joined with your mobile, is it?
Yeah,
Mohan is back.
I think I'm back with you now.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so
somebody fiddling around with the screen. Who is fiddling around with the screen?
No,
well,
nobody.
I was, because I lost complete connection, and I have got you back now.
we have lost Karunian.
Karin is here.
I can see Karni.
It's there.
Okay.
So anyway, I was going to say that I had benefited probably from 2 sets of genes. One sports and from my mother's side, and music from my father's side. So coming back to my younger days, I stayed, as one of you knew, I am from Morotua. We live very close to the Morotua center with the clock tower and so on. And next door to my place was the Morotua YMCA, which played a very good part in my younger days. So we had a long back garden, and there was a gate between our garden and the YMCA. So I used to come from school, which was a local school at that age, and I was about 6 or 7. I used to go through the gate and play carom with the boy who was looking after the place. And I did very well with carom. And then there was a cousin of ours who came when I was about a foot taller than the table tennis table, and he got me to play table tennis. So we did play a lot of table tennis, and he took me to YMCA Colombo, where there were national tournaments and so on. And it was very good, and I did quite well. And the club, YMCA, also had a badminton club, which was floodlit, and I used to play a lot of badminton there as well. and then graduated to tennis at the YMCA. But we had a very good tennis club in Morotua called the Carlton Club, and we used to play there and played with lots of other teams all over the country on a regular basis. So I used to play cricket in our garden with some fellows, and then at school as well. So there was no shortage of exercise and so on. I was playing all the time. And then I was told by a number of people, you have to leave your current school and join Ananda. And I sat for the entrance. I got through the entrance, and then I went to Ananda College, and there my life completely changed because I had to get up at 6:30 in the morning. I had to get ready at 6:30 and leave the house, and the train to Maradana was 6:48, and the school started at 8 o'clock, and you had about 5 minutes to walk from Maradana station to school, and so on. So it was very hard life. I had to take 2 bets twice a week, and then go again for the weekend to play initially sort of fun games. And after that, when the school cricket season started, it was very, very hard work, and you had to play on a regular basis, sometimes going long distances. There were 3 schools in Kandy, Trinity, Dharmaraja, and St. Anthony's. There was one in Gaul, and all the schools in Colombo, Royal, St. Thomas's, St. Joseph's, and all the things we had to play matches. And as the cricket season progressed, it became extremely interesting at school. And towards the end of April, in the first season, towards the big match, the school became a very festive place, and everybody was talking cricket and asking for autographs and shouting names and all this sort of thing. So I played regular cricket for school, and I did quite well. Those days, funnily enough, I don't know how we managed. There was no head protection, and there was no face protection. There were no helmets. You had to face fast bowler. There were 2 very fast bowlers in 2 schools. One was in Kandy called Kehel Gamua, and another one called L.R. Gunatilaka at Wesley. They were very fast bowlers, and if you got hit, you would have had the serious injuries. But anyway, I don't know how everybody managed to stave off injuries and continue to play cricket like that. So at school, I did quite well, and I set up best performance record. I scored 67 and took 6 wickets for 36, and that was the best performance at that time. Whether it has been broken now, I don't know. So anyway, so I did well in cricket. And also towards the end of the season, there was entrance examination to the university, and then I got through that. And we, in our class, in our batch, there was a Sinhalese scholar who was writing books and so on in Sinhalese, and he made some viridu. Viridu, I don't know, some of you will know, others won't know. The viridu is a sort of a poem, and what he said was, "Onna yanava Mohan Medical College June hitang Dhamma dunna ganna eta heta anidda behet nikang," which means, for those who don't know, I'm sure everybody knows that bit of Sinhalese. Anyway, what it meant was that so-and-so is going to medical school, and if you get to know him, you will get free medicine in time to come. So, that was very good. And at the same time, that was end of the season, sort of, there was a prize giving at Ananda College. And there was a man called Fritz Kunz, who was a German who was involved in University of Wisconsin in America, and he was a very great scholar, and he was made the principal of Ananda, and in his memory they started a memorial trophy. And I was fortunate enough to be selected for that, and that was given not every year, but for the most outstanding pupil of the school, and I was the 7th to have won that. So that made our parents obviously extremely happy. At the same time, there was a national competition arranged by Daily News along with Dunlops, and it was to people had to vote for the schoolboy cricketer of the year, the best batsman, best fielder, best bowler, best all-rounder, and so on. And there was a prize giving which was attended to by the chief person of Dunlops, and he came, and when he saw that I had won about 5 prizes, I was the best all-rounder, best fielder, 3rd in the schoolboy cricketer, and 2nd and 3rd in the bowling and the batting, and so on. He said, did you bring a van, because you got too many things to carry home, and so on. Anyway, so that was all very nice, school days and cricket and so on. I did not play any tennis and so on at Ananda College because absolutely there was no time. I did all that on Sundays at Moratua. So then there came the time I got through the entrance exam, and then I entered medical school. And some of you will remember that there was a exchange student scholarship. And I got selected along with Nihal Gurusingha to go to Australia. We both went to Perth, and we stayed in different places. I stayed in a house where there was husband, wife, and a son who was a medical student. I spent about 2.5 weeks or something there. And that boy had a girlfriend who used to come and have meals sometimes, and so on. So when I went to Australia, my mother was very worried that I might not have any sort of hot food. So she gave me some sort of a chutney or something to take with me. And I used to take that to the dining table every night. And one day that girl was there, and she said, "Can I have a bit of this?" I said, "Of course," because other people hated to look at it even. And the next morning, somebody rang the doorbell, and my room was closest to the entrance exit. And I went and opened the door to find that girl. She said, "It was hot going in, but much hotter coming out." So anyway. So after staying in their place, and by that time, I did my medical appointment in Perth Royal Hospital, and after that I moved to hostels in various hospitals like King Edward Memorial Hospital for Women, Princess Margaret Hospital for Children, King Edward Memorial Hostel, and so on. And there was a lot of food that was given freely in these Australian hostels. There was breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and in between, anytime you could go and get yourself something to eat or drink. Huge fridges with a lot of food and so on. So it was very nice, and people are very nice and kind. They took us on sightseeing and boat trips and There was nothing that we were in need of. We were very well looked after. I don't know where Nihal was, because we were not together after that initial arrival in Perth. So then when we came back to Sri Lanka, then it was time for cricket. And normally you can't enter Sarah Trophy straight away. You have to win the Daily News and so on, and graduate to Sarah Trophy. But because university is a different place, people come and go, and different times you get different levels of cricket playing people. So we were admitted to Sarah Trophy straight away, because there were a lot of good cricketers coming from all sorts of schools in and around the whole country, really. So we won the Sarah Trophy, funnily enough, and we beat SSC, and I took 7 wickets for 81, which was considered the best performance. Whether it is still broken, I don't know. But anyway, after winning that Sarah Trophy, then we were given a trip, I think funded by pharmaceutical companies. We didn't have to pay any money. We were sent to Singapore and Malaysia on a tour. We went by boat and so on, and we were entertained and stayed with Sri Lankans. And we went to many cities and towns and played against the universities in Singapore and so on. And it was very interesting. And then after that, we came back to medical school to continue training. And after finishing medical school training, I entered Lady Ridgeway for the first 6 months, and then Colombo South General Hospital for surgery. When I was working there, the director of sports contacted me and came to see me and said, I want you to come and start sports medicine at the Ministry of Sports. So I said, after thinking, I said, all right. So I joined the Ministry of Sports, and there they sent me to East Germany, Leipzig, for sports medicine course, which was rather interesting. And I remember a couple of episodes. One was when we were housed in a hotel. There were 14 floors, and one night when we went for dinner and came back, another friend and I, and actually the other friend was not in that hotel. I came and tried to enter the hotel. There were 14 floors to that hotel, and it went all the way up, stopped, didn't open the door, came down, same thing happened. So it was going up and down, and the door did not open. So I thought I will put my jacket on the floor and sleep. Okay. I tried that, but I couldn't. It was terribly not very comfortable. So I gave it a bit of a shove when it came down once, and it made a noise and stopped a little bit. Next time I gave it a big push, and then it opened and I jumped out. So that was a funny experience. And also we went to eat. There was a chap from Africa, and he and I went to eat, and I ordered chicken. So people came and sat and ate and went, and our chicken never came. So this man was muttering in his language, and I was also very unhappy. So I got up and went and spoke to the man at the desk, and he said, chicken, I don't know chicken. Then I had to move my elbows like the wings of chicken, and he said, that is hoon. So then in about 5 minutes time, the hoon came. I had gone to the toilet and come back, and the man had disappeared. So I had to pay for 2. those are the problems if you don't speak the language or what you need to encounter, what you encounter. So anyway, so that was interesting work, learning some sports medicine in East Germany, and it was all done in English. And then when we came back, I was now working for the Ministry of Sports. And then there was an interest, then there was a invitation from China for a tennis tour. So they selected players to go to China, and then they have a sort of testing selection games, and I was also selected to go to China. So it was a wonderful trip. And there were some 5 men and 5 ladies, and there was a manager who was the head of the legal services called Mr. Gunaratna. And anyway, we went to China, and we visited 5 major cities. And this China at that time it was not possible for anybody to go to China unless you had a specific need, like financial or attending a conference or something like that. You couldn't just go and visit China and come back. And they were meticulous with regard to their timekeeping. If they said that they were coming to pick us up at 8 o'clock, you look through your look out of your room and you see 2 minutes to 8, the vehicle is there. So absolutely on the spot. So when we look at, and those days, the Chinese had not seen foreigners. And when we went and got in the bus to go somewhere, they crowd around the bus and they look at us like looking at monkeys or baboons or something, because they have not seen foreigners. And when you also look on at I remember looking at the road, and there were only 3 cars. They were all bicycles. So we were very well looked after. They gave us food almost every night, some sort of a special meal, and they had the tendency to propose toast all the time with one of their drinks. And there were a couple of people from the Ministry of Tourism or whatever it is, and they took us to good places to eat. And we were taken sightseeing to all the great shows, great places, Great Wall, Forbidden City, Tiananmen Square, Summer Place, Terracotta Warriors, Imperial Palace, Pandas, and so on. Everything was so nicely done, very good planning. And we were also told you don't have to lock your hotel rooms, nothing is going to get lost. And also we were told if you leave something in the room, it will always come back to you, don't worry. And then if you want to discard something, you have to put it in the bin. And once I left something outside because I didn't want it, and it found its way to me for some 3,000 miles away. And when I said I didn't want it, he said, oh, in that case, you should have put it in the bin. So anyway, that was that. And there was another very interesting thing in Shanghai. Shanghai was the largest city there. And when we were taken to Shanghai, we went sightseeing, and then we were taken to a tailor's shop. And in the shop, there's a cupboard, brown door and a cupboard. And we were told to open that. And when it took us down to a lift, and then underneath there was a city, complete city with everything, banks, eating places, hotels, exercise places, everything that you can get in a city was there, but not operational. And then we were told that this was in case there was a war, and the people on the main road can be decanted into the city, within some 10 minutes, because these small places were there all over the country, all over Shanghai, to enable people to leave the main street and get to the safe place. So that was very, very interesting trip that we had to see so many places in China. So then when we came back, after some time, the SLTA requested me to attend, asked me whether I would attend a apartheid meeting in London to discuss South African apartheid situation. And that was going to be at the start of Wimbledon. And I, of course, was very happy to do that. So I attended that start of Wimbledon. And during the meeting, there was an announcement. Is there a doctor in the house? There were lots of people. The hall was full, and they were all huge people. And I looked around to see nobody put the hand up or stood up or anything. And I got up, and then 3 people came running to me and said, "Doctor, there's a man who has collapsed. Would you mind having a look?" I said, "Not at all." And I went with them. And I saw this man sweating profusely, bounding pulse, and unconscious or semi-conscious. And I asked the man, he had a friend with him. I said, "Is this chap a diabetic?" He said, "Yes, he is a diabetic." And when I examined him, there was a little tag in one of his arms as well. "I am diabetic." And what had happened is he has not eaten that morning, and he had come for the meeting, and he had not had anything to eat. And obviously he went into hypoglycemia. So I told the man, "Can you bring me some sugar?" He said, "Doctor, sugar is bad for diabetics." I said, "That's all right, you bring." And by the time the ambulance came, the man had sort of got up. So anyway, he was taken. And then people gave me their cards. "If you come to Brazil, come and see us. If you come to Vienna, see us," and all this sort of thing. So it was very interesting. So after that, I stayed in London, and I did my rest of my medical training. There was no sports medicine proper qualification at that time. If you wanted to do sports medicine, you had to do medicine and rheumatology, which I did. So when I finished training, my boss, I was at the second half of my training was at Charing Cross Hospital. And my boss said, "I think it's time for you to start applying for jobs." So I applied for the first job, and they called me for a chat, and that was in Wrexham, and I did not know where Wrexham was. So anyway,
Wales.
And I found Wrexham, and I went there and then had a chat, and they selected me for the job. So I said, "Can I have 2 weeks?" and so on. I wanted to know what facilities were there for not so much for cricket, but at least for tennis. So they had very good facilities for tennis. There was a very good center, indoor center and an outdoor center together. And after a couple of weeks, people came and met me and said, "Can you please come and play tennis for cricket for us?" So I had not mentioned any cricket anything, but they had heard, and then they said, "Okay." So I went and I started playing cricket. I started playing cricket for them, and also they wanted to promote cricket in Wales, and they arranged a celebration match against North and the South Wales and North Wales. And North Wales was captained by, they were all international cricketers. Dennis Lilly was the captain of the South Wales team, and Gordon Greenidge was the captain of the South Wales team. Other one was the North Wales team. So anyway, 2 people, local people, were selected for each team, and I was one of them. So it was a very big occasion, and and there were dignitaries of all sorts who came for that, with huge speakers hung on treetops and this and that, and so it was quite a good
I can't use the Zoom.
good event.
Maru?
So one of the things I forgot to tell you was when we were playing cricket, when we were training, we had this selection of teams for somebody is singing. Anyway, we had a selection of, there was a proposal to improve the communication and goodwill between Colombo schools and Jaffna schools. And that was considered a very, very good thing to do. And so they selected a team from Colombo schools, and we were taken to Jaffna by the prefect of games of St. Peter's, was a very nice burgher gentleman. And so we went to this thing and we played. We had this famous celebration match between the two sets of cricketers from Colombo and from Jaffna. So I remember opening the batting, and the first ball that I got hit the left shoulder of the bat, and I thought I was going to be caught, but it went for a 6. But anyway, when the Jaffna boys started playing, the first wicket down man was a left-handed batsman, and he came and he was playing, and one of the best leg spin googly bowlers at that time was Raja De Silva from St. Joseph's. He was bowling and he bowled one shot, and this left-handed gentleman hit with all his might what is called a pull shot, which should have come to the leg area where I was fielding, but that ball hit the chap who was fielding at silly mid-on, and his name was Priya Pereira. He was a very good athlete, very good sportsman. He fell on the floor, and the ball got deviated from square fine leg to mid-wicket, and I could run a bit those days. I ran and caught the ball, and nobody knew. The umpires were looking at the man who had fallen by the wicket. So anyway, people shouted, and he was given out. And that man happens to be here today.
Karnian.
Ah, that's right.
Oh my God.
There's normally another man, Singaratnam. He was also in the crowd, and he used to tell me, yes, I was there at that event, and he used to confirm that what happened and so on. So that was a very interesting episode that we had going to Jaffna playing. And after the cricket, we were taken to a place, I think it was called Karya Maditti, and it's sort of a medicinal pool-like thing, and old people.
Kirimale.
Kirimale, yes. Isn't it called Karya Maditti, no?
No, Kirimale. It's called Kirimale.
Yeah, Kirimale.
It's close to KKS cement factory.
Anyway, people were brought there. They had a dip in that and so on. And also they had left a cauldron of toddy, Kitul toddy or something. And I opened the lid to see there was a 1-inch layer thick of insects, bees and flies. How anybody could drink of that, I couldn't understand. Yeah. Anyway, again, that terrible thing has started again. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah.
Toddy.
Yeah, toddy. So I wouldn't touch anything like that. But anyway, so that was another interesting episode of going for cricket and having and I didn't have a bath as well, but some people did, and that was the end of that tour. That was very interesting. So after after that there was I was playing tennis on a very regular basis at that center in Wrexham, and they were having annual
You have blocked me out of
quadrangular tournaments. That's
I
England,
think I can't talk or do
Wales,
anything.
Ireland, and Scotland. So I qualified to play for Wales because of my job in Wales and so on. So
Can you hear me?
it was very interesting to go
No,
to
but can you hear me on the Zoom?
England on one season,
All right.
next season
Okay.
to go to Wales,
Okay. All right.
next
Okay.
season to go to Ireland.
I'm trying to.
So in other words,
Okay. Now it works.
you are playing in different parts of the UK, playing tennis in what is called the quadrangular tennis tournament. I was the only brown person in the whole set of teams, so everybody knew me as a Sri Lankan. That was extremely interesting as well to meet so many people of different parts of the UK. Go to Cardiff and go to Ireland and Scotland and so on. So after some time, I got an invitation to go to Brazil for a sports medical conference. So that was extremely interesting because Brazil was known to be one of the friendliest nations, with there being Portuguese, Japanese, Indians, Germans, and so on. And they are famous for their famous beaches, Copacabana and Ipanema. And you all have heard of their carnival, which is one of the best in the world. And they also have a football stadium, the Maracana Stadium, and somebody volunteered to take me to see a match, which was extremely interesting and nice. So when the plane approaches Rio, you see a beautiful sight with a 38-meter Christ the Redeemer statue on top of
Mary statue.
Corcovado. So it's a beautiful sight. I was very fortunate to be able to go there, and then we had the sports conference for 5 days or something. But we were told that, and there were a lot of shanties in that area as well near the city, and we were told to be careful if you are going alone at night by yourself. And one day we were being taken to a dinner in a bus, and all of us had got into the bus, but one lady had got late. And when she came, she was crying, and she had been waylaid by 2 people on the way to the bus, and somebody had forced her mouth shut, and other one had pulled out all her rings. And so, in other words, that is the type of thing that can happen, even though it's a very nice place. A lot of thefts and that sort of thing happens as well. So so I was very happy to go and see a football match at the Maracana Stadium as well, because it is one of the things, I suppose, if you go to Rio, if you are interested in sport, that is something you should go and do as well. So by that time, it was about 2005 or something, and Gail was finding it difficult to drive 200 miles one way from our house in London to Wrexham, and then to come back after 3 days or 4 days. She goes on a Friday to meet me after my work on Friday, and then she comes back on on a Monday morning. So when I'm free, I do the reverse. So then she said, why don't you consider thinking of moving to London? I said yes. And then I gave my notice. And then they had a reception for my leaving, and then they thanked me a lot by the chief man there, saying that there was not a single complaint against me, verbal or written. And they also appointed me to attend complaint meetings, and if there was a problem area with some people, they appointed me to. They thought that I was able to pacify people and come to a settlement without escalating into high levels and so on. Anyway, I really enjoyed working there, and the place was absolutely beautiful. The hospital, all the people were white. I don't know whether it is a nice thing to say, but in London you get dirt thrown out under staircases and this and that, but these people were all Welsh people, and they did a thorough job cleaning. And there was a 3-man team that went from one end of the hospital to the other end. They did all the painting, cleaning, and then it came back. So all the time the 3-man team was painting and kept absolutely spotless. So it was a very nice thing to see how. And when I went, there were only 2 colored people. There were 45 consultants, but another chap who was a Pakistani guy. And when I left, I think it had completely reversed, and there were more outsiders than the locals. So to cut a long story short, I consider myself very fortunate to see a good part of the world because of my involvement in sports. I mean, to see Australia, to see Singapore, Malaysia. Then I didn't mention, I also went to Pakistan to play tennis in one of the tournaments there, and to go to different parts of the UK and then to Brazil and so on. So it was, I didn't have to pay for anything. They were all on the house, apart from, of course, I had to buy the ticket to go to London for my medical studies. And only the money my mother had to spend on the bottle of whatever she made for me to take to Australia. And they were very nice at the customs. They are very strict, allowing to clear people if you bring things from outside. But they didn't even open my baggage, so I managed to do that. So I on the whole, I think I was very fortunate to be able to do all that, mostly because of my participation in sport. And it was a very nice thing to have to accept. Thank you.
Very good.
Thank you, Mohan.
How many have fallen asleep?
No, Mohan, one question. Mohan,
Yeah.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
So one minute.
Hold on for a minute. I want to
Unmute myself.
I lost it again, no?
I had a.
Can
you hear me now?
Yeah, I can.
Hear you, right.
I didn't get Mohan. You joined the sports ministry.
Yeah.
And then you went to London. You left the ministry and went on your own.
No. I joined the sports ministry, and then I went for training to East Germany and so on. And on another occasion, I went to West Germany as well, even though people who go to East Germany can't go to West Germany at that time, according to the regulations. They somehow, I don't know how it happened, but I was allowed. So I went to University of Frankfurt for orthopedics as well. Anyway, so what was your question? How did
but then you gave up your Sri Lankan sports ministry and went to England.
No. I did not give up sports medicine. This thing. I went for training. So my intention was to do sports medicine, but there was no proper sports medicine course at that time. If you wanted to do sports medicine, you had to do medicine plus this thing. So because of that, I decided not to carry on with because I could not get a sports medical degree. So I discussed that with the director, and then he said, yes, in that case, you better. So then I switched over to myself. I had to meet the expense of the ticket and all that sort of thing.
And you settled in England and did rheumatology.
Yeah. And then as I said, I after the training, I applied for a job, and I got called to Wrexham job, which where I had no knowledge of where Wrexham was and all that, as I said. And then I was very happy after that.
Very good. Wonderful life.
Yeah,
Wonderful life. Yeah.
it was. I
Yeah.
mean, you can't
Paddy,
imagine seeing so many parts of the world at leisure and without any expense and so on. It was remarkable.
Paddy, yeah, go on. Paddy, talk.
Huh?
Hi, Mohan. I think it was a fantastic presentation of yourself. I think I congratulate you for all what you have done as an athlete and a sportsman. I think you have been kind enough to have me and my wife in Wrexham about 35 years ago.
I remember.
We were with you for 3 or 4 days. You
I remember,
treated us
yes.
so well and fed us good too. But what I am trying to talk is that in Sri Lanka, with the university team, and then the Sarah Trophy you won, those achievements not very many people can boast about, I think. But you had also people like Karunian, Balakrishnan, Sivananda, the wicketkeeper, all those people you remember?
Of course,
I don't know about Vikramachandran, whether he was good enough to be in the university team.
I think he
I
played
played for
Daily
the-
News. I think
I played for the Daily
News.
News. I played for the Daily News.
Yes.
I knew my good friend Vicky was a good athlete too, but it was very interesting this morning that I am happy I joined it. But I think this may be another suggestion from me. Karunian and Vicky also has to give a presentation about their lifestyle and their experience as a super athlete.
Yeah, one of the things I forgot to say, I wanted to say earlier was that my family, as I said, my father was a postmaster, and he was a very good musician, a concert pianist. And I had three brothers. Eldest ended up as a consultant radiologist. And he was a very good musician. He could play so many instruments for piano, accordion, piano, guitar, violin, and so on. And that in a way ruined his life because he was so popular with friends and family and unknown people as well. He got invitations to parties on a regular basis. And I remember the first day I saw him smoking and I was very hurt. So then he started drinking and that ruined his life, even though he continued to work as a consultant radiologist in a lot of hospitals. Then my second brother was the only one who did not do medicine. Other three of us were doctors. So second brother was an athlete, very good athlete. He held Ceylon records in hurdles, 400 meters hurdles and so on. And he became a senior superintendent of police, which is one step below the DIG. And actually a DIG who was a very good friend of mine told me, your brother is considered to be the most honest police officer and the most hardworking police officer in the force. So that was very nice thing to hear. Apart from, he is the only one who did not, he wanted to do sports from the start, and his diet, everything geared towards what was needed for him to achieve his sporting ambitions. So he didn't study very much. So other three of us became doctors. My sister became a public health physician in New Zealand. He got married to Saro's brother-in-law. So there are three of us doctors, and my mother was an extremely nice lady who was very religious. And my father used to come and have his drink occasionally and play the violin, which was beautiful to listen to. And then most of the time he was playing with the sophisticated stuff with a music book in front of him and so on. But when he played the popular bits, we really enjoyed it. So there was this, music and sports in our family, and that I suppose that helped for me to do what I did. But I think the mother is the one who kept the family all together, and we had no problems. We never shouted at, we were never assaulted. I was assaulted once because my brother connected the wire and put a light, and then without anybody knowing, and he told me to hold something, and I got electrocuted.
Oh my God.
And my father caned me. Why did you do stupid things? That's the only time I got assaulted.
Mohan,
Huh?
this is again Patmalingam. My older brother was an Anandian. He entered medical school from Anand, and he became a surgeon in England. I lost him about 4 years ago. Pothalingam. He was an FRCS with orthopedics and general surgery. What I'm just telling is about him is because he was an Anandian.
Yes, he was about 3 to 4 years my senior. When I entered, he was in the final year.
Anyway, so Ananda College is one of the best colleges for medicine.
Well, it had the reputation like that medical results for medicine was quite high most of the time at Ananda.
Thank you.
I remember the game with Mohan. You know, we were playing Jaffna combined. I was playing Jaffna, and Mohan was in the Colombo team, and I was really batting well. That was a phase in my life when I was having a lot of high scores, and I think got 31 runs in a couple of overs. I was really batting well. And then I hit it a very nice shot. I thought I should have got 4 runs.
What I said was right, no?
Yes. Yeah, I still remember that very, very vividly. And then I hit and looked, and this guy was clumped on the ground. And I felt bad because he hit right on his head. So I thought he was down. I went to this guy, and people were hovering around him. And Mohan, I didn't know Mohan then. You know, first time he came and said, I say, you are out, you are out. That's what Mohan So I was thinking, here is the fellow, I thought that fellow is going to be dead or something, or getting a head injury, and this fellow is coming and telling me that I am out. But then I was out, and I was walking out very frustrated because I was really having a good eye and batting.
I think the spectators are the ones who gave the decision that you are out.
Well, the umpire didn't see. You know, this guy was on the ground.
Umpires didn't see. No.
It came in the
I want to
newspaper.
say something about Karunian. Karunian became a good cricketer because he lived right in front of the field. You remember Karunian? You're growing up.
Yeah, his father.
You were able to play cricket all the time.
The man who got hit, Priya Pereira, was a good friend of mine. I grew up with him in St. Joseph's College. And like you, he was not only a brilliant sportsman, but he was also brilliant academically. He won all the prizes.
And a wonderful fellow, nice fellow.
He sadly passed away. Yeah, brilliant guy.
I knew that, Vicky, because he had the reputation of being a very good student, and he was a very good athlete. He did high jump, I think.
Yeah.
And then he was a very good cricketer. He was a good bowler. He was a very good fielder.
He got Garfield Sobers out, much to everybody's discontent. He was an off-break bowler.
Yeah. He was very good.
At that time, the St. Joseph produced two spinners. One is Pereira and the other chap. At the same time, those are St. Joseph's, no, those Pereira and the other chap.
You mean
one entered for engineering,
Yeah, but one thing that was very disappointing was that Priya Pereira, when he entered the university, he got into a bad clique.
Absolutely.
And they were drinking and playing cards, and I don't think Priya completed his course.
No.
He fell by the wayside. It was very unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Yeah, he's a psychologically interesting study. He really flowered at St. Joseph's and then fell apart 10 years.
Yes, it was very sad.
He went away from
Mohanlals.
Yeah.
Karunian and this wicket keepers, Sivananda and Balakrishnan got into the Sara Trophy team because of DP.
I did not. I consciously stopped playing cricket. Huh?
No. This chap, who the wicket keeper,
Sivananda did.
And Balakrishnan got into the Sara Trophy side because of DP Silva. He was the captain for. He was in charge of cricket. Otherwise, G and various Neil Chanmugam and all the Colombo school boys were put to play, because of one. Later, Balakrishnan opened batting with Badani, Paul Ceylon, and Sivananda
Bala also played for Ceylon.
for wicket keeping.
Yeah, there was a fellow called DSD Silva. Remember DSD Silva?
Yes.
He also played against me in one of the combined teams. And when I came, I decided not to pursue cricket because you study till Saturday and then play cricket on Sunday and then go back on Monday. It was pretty hectic, and there were other reasons. My father was unhappy I was playing cricket on Sundays. And so I dropped. And DSD Silva used to come and tell me to continuously come and play. He used to come and pursue it. You remember DSD Silva, right?
Yeah.
He's from Peradeniya. He's from Peradeniya. He used to come to Colombo.
There are two things I must tell you. We were playing University versus Morotua, and I got hit on my face. I hooked. I didn't connect, and it hit on the right side. When you hook, you are looking to. I'm a right-handed batsman, so I looked onto the left, and I got hit on the right side of the face. I could not eat for 10 days. I was boarded at a place close to Colombo South Hospital or something. Anyway, the lady in the house brought me a drink and with a straw. That is how I managed. I didn't tell anybody. And those days I should have had an MRI or something. Nothing of the sort. I just went home and rested. So that is one thing. And the other great disappointment was there was a match planned against Pakistan. And they had possibles versus probables number of matches to select the team. And I had done very well and did the best amongst the bowlers. And I was playing the last of those matches, and I was bowling at Buddy Reid, who was a very, very good close friend of mine. He was opening batting and I was opening bowling. And when I bowled one, he hit a forward defensive and tried to run. And I took the ball and shied at the wicket. I mean, it's a terrible thing to do. And I tore my ligament in my right shoulder. I mean, those days we did not even have any sort of exercises as warm up or anything. So first thing I did apart from bowling was to try, and I could not bowl after that. Even now I got problems in the right shoulder coming from that. So anyway, that was the end of my
Bowling.
playing for Sri Lanka. I was, in fact, the man came and asked me, "Are you quite sure you can't bowl?" Because I would have been selected if not for that. That was a major mistake that I regret.
Mohanlal, Mohanlal, Buddy Reed is a world champion in table tennis. Singles, doubles, mixed doubles.
I know. I used to play with him, even in the.
No, but he continues to play now, Mohan.
Yeah, he plays.
He came to Las Vegas.
Under 70.
Yes.
Buddy Reed played cricket for Australia, under 60.
Yes. He and I did a lot of things together. And another thing, there's a chap called Nihal Guru Singh. You all know.
Sure.
He was a very, very attractive man, and he had a nice red Gilera bike. And he used to sometimes take me to the station from university grounds to Kolpiti. So one day I had the bag and I was getting into his bike, and one leg on the floor and the other leg lifted up above the seat, and he took off. So I was with the bag and the bat and the leg on the pavement, and the man was talking to me. I could see he was turning around and talking and riding. And after some time he came back. "What happened to you?" I said, "You took off before I could get it." So that was quite interesting. And then he took me again. Oh, it's a wonderful life he had. Sivanandan was a very good wicket keeper. Very good.
Excellent. Yeah. Sivanandan Balakrishnan and I played together.
Where is Nihal Guru Singh?
He's in Tasmania.
Why doesn't he join?
Huh?
Yeah, I know. I have talked to him a couple of times, but he had a career in New Zealand, and then his daughter is a surgeon in Australia, and he's moved to be with her.
Yeah, that is right.
I called him about maybe a year ago or so. We should try and call him.
I talk to him, but not that frequently. And
somebody in Australia should follow up.
And he had a problem with his neck. He became there was a deformity that came in his neck. He was looking he was flexed and looking to the right leg.
I think he was the tallest man in our batch.
Huh?
He was the tallest man in our batch, I think.
He's a nice guy.
Yes, and he was in my group when we went for surgery under that man in outpatient. Can you remember his name? Outpatient.
Niles.
Dr. Niles.
How can you forget Niles, man?
Niles.
If a person has a pain on the right side, it is a young man. Appendix.
And Niles wanted Guru Singh to help him, in some surgery. And when he cut the tummy or something, Nihal fainted.
Can't believe.
And he chased him out.
Mohan, I should say something about you that none of these people know, right? They don't know how far we live from each other. Mohan.
Huh?
So go ahead, Jasmine.
Nobody knows how far we live from each other in Moratua.
Right. I think 250 yards.
Right. Well, Mohan is an amazing guy because, of course, he's very senior to us. I knew Nihal a little. I knew Nimal very well. I know Srimati extremely well. She's about my age, I think, the younger sister. But this guy was very talented. He read a thing called a Doraka Dasne. You remember that?
I didn't want to tell you.
I'm going to tell them about this. The Doraka Dasne, now I think Sarah will know this if any other Buddhists. I'm not Buddhist, I'm an Anglican, but then my home was right opposite the school, Maratua Vidyalaya, and the Buddhist, right there. So he read this Dorakadasne, which is like an invocation, right? And it's very difficult to read. It's you remember, you had to remember the whole thing. And I remember coming and watching you do that. I was much younger than you, but I used to watch this. And he won in the YMCA challenge, 2 of us to play against him badminton. I don't think you remember that. And there's no way we could play with this guy. 2 of us could not play with him. It was like in the Blomfontein, 2 of us used to play with Rasalingam, and Rasalingam would make us look like fools. But he was the same. So very talented. I knew his father and mother a little bit, and we had a lot of very fine doctors in Moratuwa that time. Jerry Perrin, Sarat Nimel, Dasri Fernando, Mohanlals Fernando. So big crowd, all of us.
I must tell Jayasiri about this Durakadasana. I didn't want to complicate things, but anyway, when I was about 10.5 years, I was selected to do the Durakadasana, which is some of the people who are not Buddhists may not know. There's a thing called 7-day Pirita. Pirita is a chanting of Buddhist verses by a set of bhikkhus. We had a very good auditorium or Buddhist hall, what it was called at that time, and there's the spirit that comes for 7 days. And continuous spirit, and 3 times a day or something, all the priests get together and chant, and in between only 2 priests continue the thing for 7 days. At the end of 7 days, you are supposed to have this thing called Durakadasana, and I was apparently it is a great thing to be selected for that thing, because they look at all the family and this and that 10 person and all this sort of thing. Anyway, I had to go to a temple every night, every evening, to learn this long thing that had to be recited for some half an hour by memory.
Is it in Pali or?
Yeah, in Pali. I can remember the first sentence. Sausilladi, Gunaganangeng, Upalakshita Vu, Pinvat Swamin, Mahansa, and all, and it went on and on and on, mostly in Pali. And then you are dressed like a prince, and you have 2 aides on either side, and you are taken in a procession in a decorated vehicle or on elephant back. So I selected to go in the decorated vehicle rather than to fall off the elephant or something. Anyway, so you are taken in the procession all over Moratuwa, and then you are brought to this place where the chanting is going on, and you have to stand in front of there's a thing that is built there called the Mandap, which is nicely decorated place where there are some 14 priests sitting there, and you have to stand holding on to the 2 uprights at the entrance and to chant this thing for that length of time, after which you are given gifts by your family and friends and other people and all that sort of thing. So it was a very big occasion, really. So I didn't want to tell all that, thinking that I might be taking too much of your time. But anyway, it was very interesting.
Mohanlals, it's Banda here. I want to ask you 2 questions. One is at the very beginning of your story. Why did you go to Ananda in the first place when there were other schools closer to you? Was your father at Ananda?
No, my father was not at Ananda, but there was a belief that it is not a belief, it is an accepted fact that Ananda was the best Buddhist school in the country. Whether everybody agreed with that, I don't know, but that was generally the thing that people agreed on.
Yeah.
So, and then there were some people known to me who were connected closely with Anand, and they all said, look, you have to come to Anand, not here, you have to go. So it was extremely difficult. My life completely changed. I could not go to a single party, no birthday parties, no this, no that, no films, because there was no time to study. There was no time to read a book. I go in the morning at 6:48 in the train. I get there at 8 o'clock, and then you go for practices. And on Friday at 10 o'clock, you have to stop your class and go to the hostel to have something to eat, get your things ready to go in the college bus to the grounds wherever you are playing, whether it is one of the schools or if it is one of the outstation school. We had 2 outstation matches every season, either one of the candy ones and Gaul, or 2 candy ones. And then it took 1 day to get there before you start the match. So likewise, it was so. When I went to college for 8 o'clock, I came home at about 8:30 at night, and there was no time to read a book or something. I never missed a class, but it was very difficult to find time to read. In the train, I tried to read, but very difficult with all sorts of disturbances and all. So it was a very hectic life. I had to carry a bat and bag with cricket gear and books and go and come back, and it was hell.
What age did you start? What age did you start going there?
Must have been about 18.
No, you started going there?
Going there?
To Anand, from Moratua.
About 16, I think.
16? No, must have been earlier than that. Up to that, where were you?
I think I may be wrong. It may be a little bit earlier. I think about 12. I think, yeah.
Yeah, could be 12.
Before that, where were you studying?
In that school that was close to us. It was a very good school. The principal spoke like an Englishman. His pronunciation was just like an Englishman, and the school was very good, and the facilities were good. As I said, that hall was excellent. Not many places, even Anand didn't have such a nice auditorium. And there were very good teachers, and one teacher actually was staying with us. Very small made teacher, but very stern, and she's the one who said, no, you must go to Anand. So
Narada's father was the principal, right?
Yes, Narada's father was the principal.
Yeah, I said I have 2 questions. My second question is for the present. You look very fit even now. What are you playing at the moment? Do you play tennis?
Balls. Playing balls.
I love to play tennis, but the thing is, I have not been able to walk till I had my knee done. I had it done about 1.5 years ago, and that's very, very, very good. So I can walk properly now. What happened was my wife used to go and see a very senior orthopedic surgeon for her shoulder problems. She had a problem with the shoulder. She had shoulder surgery from one of the world's top shoulder surgeons. And he came the following day to greet her, and she jumped out of the bed to greet him, and the nurses had not immobilized her shoulder, and the shoulder fell off. So from the muscles tore, and that was the beginning of her problems. She had to have about 3 shoulder operations after that. It was a terrible thing. But anyway, she used to go and see this gentleman, and he was a very nice man. And she, in fact, bought him a book when he said he's going to Australia on holiday. She brought him this book, and then they were very good friends. And I went to see him after she passed away, and I told him I went to see him about the shoulder, that same shoulder problem that came after throwing at Buddy. So he said, you can do 1 or 3 things, or do nothing, have a bit of therapy, or have a lot of, have an operation, have a lot of physio. So I said, my shoulder is a problem, but my leg is a bigger problem. Then he said, why the leg? I said, I have had 3 compartmental wasting of my left knee. Then he said, if I have a problem in my knee, I know where I will be going to. Would you want me to contact him? So I couldn't say no. So he contacted that doctor, and that doctor gave me an appointment, and within a month I had surgery. So the surgery is absolutely wonderful. But the trouble is, I can't play with my right shoulder. I can play a little bit, but I think it might make it worse. I don't know. So I'm just walking the dog. That's what I'm doing.
Mohan,
I want to say something. I thought Mohan played only balls. Now he has a shuttlecock, so he has a cock and ball story.
Before we go,
this is not the same type of thing that happens in Jeddah.
Mohan, I want to say something. You have a rotator cuff bust. I think you busted your rotator cuff on your shoulder. That's my diagnosis.
Yes, that is correct. And I had something done about it as well. But it is, I mean, I can do the usual things in the house and all, but to play, whether it will make things worse, I don't know. But
what about table tennis?
Table tennis, I haven't played, but that might be something that yeah, it might be a good thing to do. Yes.
Yeah. Smaller balls.
Can I
Smaller and lighter balls.
Can I change the subject a little bit? Banda, you know, going forward, I'm looking at the next meeting and go on. But would you ask your brother, who was our teacher in the second MB, to, and he had done a lot of medical education, and I just find that he's written about the history of medicine in Sri Lanka. Can he give us a talk in one of our talks? Would you consent to do that? It'll be wonderful to have him.
As I told you, Karunyan, as I told you, I talked to Aris Papageos, who is a fetal medicine man, but he's an interesting guy because he's done artificial intelligence in diagnosing using ultrasound and in fetal medicine. He wanted to talk on that. He gave a nice talk, and I thought it would be nice for all of us because
we can have him too. I mean, we need a lot of speakers. So, but it'll be nice to.
I put him in the list, and we'll get Banda's friend as well. Yeah.
I can ask him.
Yeah.
Huh? Sorry.
Before I wanted to show you something on the screen so that this is one of the best things that it's on the YouTube. Just a minute. I'm going to show you the title for the YouTube. You have to type in, and then you will get this back, and you can review. Anybody want. So people could have watched, even millions of people could have watched it at the same time. So I think we are YouTube live, and I'm going to tell you the title. So if you can, I'll just show it to you for a minute when you finish. Yeah. Okay. So don't go behind.
I just want to respond to Karunyan's request. I can ask him, Karunyan, but he's no longer young now. I'm 82. He's 5 years older than me. So he will. I think it will be difficult for him because of the time difference. I can ask him though.
Correct. I know. Anyway, it'll be wonderful to have him. I last met him in Burbank in California.
Banda, what exactly is the title? What exactly is the title of the book? Because the history of medicine in Sri Lanka sounds really interesting. Is that
he's written several books, but I can send it to you.
I put it on the WhatsApp group.
Yeah, I'll do that. I got it somewhere here. I can't.
I think that's how we have been distributing the idea. So there are 2 points I wanted to show you the announcement. because there was the timing of Banda was wrong in that because Benita gave us the time and then I wrote it up. But now it will be 11 o'clock for Sydney, 10 o'clock for 11 o'clock. Yeah, 10 o'clock for Vikramachandran, and Banda will be 1 o'clock. Okay. So now I'll just show you the announcement.
Yeah. Okay.
Banda, we can accommodate him.
Yeah. This one, the cock and ball story here.
Look like we're getting out. Yeah.
Just a minute. I just wanted to show you. And yeah, this is 5 o'clock. All these times is right until 2000 in Malaysia. And then it will be 23 p.m. at Sydney. And then 10100 morning in New Zealand. And
no,
I'm going to put Brisbane will be 2200.
No, you have to put Brisbane as well. There's a different time in Brisbane to
Yes,
Sydney.
I'm going to put that in.
Yeah.
21. So, okay. That's a live recording. This is the title. Slimofamily, one word. WWMM202210. And that's the second. If you put this, you will get this YouTube. So make a note and you can send it on email or WhatsApp message to friends to go and have a look. And that's one way of advertising our, each time it is, only thing that changes is the last one. It's 90908 like that. Some of them are not there. One of those was denied. Other than that, the rest of you are all there like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Maruf.
Okay.
Thank you, Maruf. So, Banda, think about it. And then Mohanlals. Thanks a lot. That was very interesting, Mohan. We really enjoyed it.
Very good one.
Very nice one.
I'm happy because I thought I might be putting you all to sleep.
No.
No.
You were all awake throughout, excepting you were falling asleep.
Sorry, Maruf.
So, Benita, where are you, Benita?
You said 10 o'clock, but I think we started at 11. So this is a new time now.
What time is it, you?
Now, you said 22 is 10 o'clock, not 11.
Yes.
We can look at that next time. Yeah.
So it's 10 p.m. for us, correct?
Is it 10 p.m. for you?
Yeah. Now, when you called me, I just came in on 11 o'clock. That was.
Where are you, Benita?
Benita?
I just arrived.
Can you tell what the time is now?
Are you in Jaffna?
I arrived.
No, she's came back to Sydney.
Yeah, I just arrived and then Maru called me and I just washed my hair and came and sat.
Wait, Benita, 1 minute.
Mohanlals was talking, so I thought I would join.
Benita, what is your time now? What is your time now?
My time, I don't know, let's see.
Not Sri Lankan time.
Not the Sri Lankan time, hold on. God only knows.
13 hours.
0050. You are plus 8 hours.
12:50.
Correct. That's correct. You are plus 8 hours from me. So 3 plus 8. Okay. 3 plus 8 hours.
11 p.m. 11 p.m.
11 p.m. Not 10 p.m.
Yeah, but what you showed just now was 22, 10 p.m. Wrong.
Yeah, that's what you told me last time, remember?
That is
Okay, doesn't matter. We can work that out, you know.
Anyway, now I'll change it. I'm going to change it to 23. And that's what I said. And Brisbane will be 22. 1 hour earlier.
Maru, because it's daylight saving. But now it changed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That will be 22 Brisbane, 23 Sydney, and 1 o'clock for Don. Because Don came 1 hour early, and fortunately he could wait, and he contributed definitely towards this particular thing.
Okay, guys, just to go in the programs, you know, the two things I'm concerned about. Number one, I don't know whether we can re-attract the many people who come. I don't know whether it's the nature of the programs or the nature of the time or just people getting tired. Now, this is October. November, in the US, it comes with Thanksgiving, but this is really going to be on the 26th of Saturday, the 26th on November. And I think December 1 is on the 31st. So maybe we'll skip the December 1 and have the November 1 and Maruf that. And if Banda, Maruf, if you can get your friend who's got this.
I got two friends. One is Haris, or my spine friend, and he can talk about the posture and spine problems. Yeah.
Yeah, but we have to do something to, I would suggest, I'm thinking of two things. Number one is we can get all the batchmates together sometime to get together. And one thing, we can't ask them to come every month. Obviously, the only few of the faithful are hanging on every month. And I don't know whether we can do that. And, you know,
we have to target it for January. I don't think we have time enough.
No. It'll take about 2-3 months, but we had to really do it and have something interesting for us to do for them to come and be listening to it.
I have a series of lectures that was given on lifestyle medicine, which is new.
I have a couple of suggestions on that might work just about. First of all, for November and December, since it's Thanksgiving, I wonder, and we are not having one in December, whether we can just change the date, the Saturday for these 2 months, because 26 is just before Thanksgiving. Many people will be traveling or involved with that. So we can have something between like November and December, one meeting. One suggestion.
So do you want to postpone it by 1 week?
You know, something, maybe even 2 weeks, because, you know, something between December, Christmas, and between Thanksgiving.
Yeah, listen, let's have it on. Yeah,
wait a minute. Tell them correct time so that I'll put it in.
That is one suggestion that I have. And the second one is whether, whatever the date we decide, whether it can be put out maybe about 3 days or 4 days before the actual date. A lot of people.
I think Carmian does that, and then I do the voucher closer because just to remind again, you know.
Right. So at least 4 or 5 days ahead one time, and then I'm sorry, Maru, but it's more work for you. But if you don't mind doing that,
yeah, I'll do that. I don't mind. Listen, what is the date you want for December?
I think we'll make it a 10th of December. One meeting, 10th of December.
10th of December. Okay.
That's good.
One meeting, okay? And then we will try and get people there and make it an interesting personal meeting. Like today's meeting is, you know, hearing stories of friends.
Yeah, today's also very interesting. And
Jayasiri, you must have a very interesting, I know you have a very interesting and accomplished family. I know many members of your family, but do you want to tell us your story?
No, there's not much story to tell when I have guys like Mohanlals. No, we had, like I was telling you, we had an amazing crowd of doctors. I was thinking, did you know Sarat Dimel, who died?
Yeah, he was in my class, Chasri, at St. Thomas's. He was in my class. He died of a traffic accident. We joined school together.
What is the name?
What year were you in St. Thomas's?
Sarat Dimel.
He was about 3 years senior to us, Mohanlals, in med school.
What was your full name, Banda?
Sarat Dimel.
No, yours in school.
Mine?
Yeah.
My name is Ranjit.
You're not Raja's brother, right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. You can't remember me? I'm Jaya, who was junior to you. Used to go to Guru
I can remember. I can remember you, of course. Yes.
Oh my God! We used to know you well. We used to know your mother, and we used to know your Susuma is your sister, right?
Yes.
Oh my God! I was in the school choir. I was junior to you guys, but much.
Jayasiri, that chap Dimel.
Your life history. I thought you were going to talk about it. One.
Jayasiri, that chap Dimel was he in Moratu, somewhere close to your house?
Leonard Dimel's son. Right, very close to your home.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That was close to your house as well, no?
Little away from my house towards your house.
Yeah.
And then there was Aqua Jerry and Perina, you know, Dasri Fernando.
Yeah, Dasri, all school with me.
All other people, all of them were Morto boys. and they were crazy. Ranjan
was from Moratua.
So I think it is Jayasree's birthday next. Today is Mohanlal's birthday celebration day. It is 27th his birthday.
All right.
27th of October. So happy birthday, Mohan. You did marvelously. And Jayasree's birthday on the 5th of December.
I postponed my birthday.
My God, I've been talking on this panel and I never said hi to Banda the proper way. I said, well, we used to go to Gurtalava together. They were senior to us and with Father Ian and we used to hike 29 miles. Can you believe?
Oh, absolutely.
29 miles. You started from Gurtalava. We walked to the Horton Plains.
Yeah.
We went Patipala, we climbed Tatupala.
Please respond to my request on WhatsApp about the date of birth so that we will have it spread out.
We'll do that. So decided December 10th is the next meeting, right?
Okay.
Yep.
And who, Maruf, you're going to bring someone or?
Yes, I can confirm that with you. And also, I told you I attended a conference on British lifestyle medicine. I have the recorded videos on that. So one of them on microbiome was very, very interesting. Another one was about muscle mass, which tells you about the microbiome was interesting, and which tells you about the health and how the longevity comes through that. And the other one was on the muscle mass. Those two lectures are very nice, and I can actually, it is a video, so I can play it as an additional thing to whatever that we are doing.
Yeah. But I would still like to
have it ready.
It's a nice thing
Any
to
of
have.
you want it, I can play it on one of our meetings.
Sure. So, but I still think it will be nice to also have Dr. Bandaranaike talking to us out of sentimental. I still remember him in the second MD. And
That's
it'll be nice. Yeah, do ask him.
Raja, I think it will be very good if Raja can speak.
One of the thought is whether the younger Banda can kind of do like a synopsis or get the talk from his brother and present it if his brother is not up to presenting. So just a thought, Banda. I don't know how you feel about it or whether it can be done.
Yeah, that's possible. But the problem with that, Saro, is that to answer the questions that will invariably come at the end, I won't be. If I don't know something, I say I don't know. But so he'll be better, obviously, for that sort of thing.
He can be with us and then answer the questions.
That or
we
just
can give it to.
Or just ignore
Raja and Don.
What is the topic? What exactly do you want him to talk about?
Medical education through years. You see, when he asked me to teach my students, he brought the video and took a video and told, you know how you perform? And then he played the video and I thought that I was interrupting every student and after every question.
Okay, medical education. Right.
Medical education through years.
What has happened to it in Sri Lanka?
So Benita has a hand up.
I think that will be really interesting.
I just want to add something. When we change the medical college curriculum for an integrated curriculum for from the standard secondary one to vertical and horizontal integrated curriculum, we were sent to Sydney under Raja Bandaranaike for 3 weeks or 2 weeks. We were all trained. Once 6 of us in groups of 6 we came there at the Raja, and we we were trained, and then we went back and changed the curriculum for Colombo, and then I went up to Gaul to do for anatomy.
So we have a good number of people who have been in the university. Benita has been the dean, and Raja with so much of experience. And when I was teaching in University Kebangsaan in Malaysia, Raja came there to the university at the request of the university, and he taught us about medical education. The whole faculty was taken and they doing education. So Raja's medical education through years is a very apt and fitting subject that we could handle on the 10th. Okay?
Okay, all right. We've had a long meeting. Anything else? Any other ideas?
I thought of
Saro, you are sounding much better now. you have got better during the meeting.
Yeah, I think listening to your really excellent presentation and really, truly fascinating life. Whoever knew?
Today it was exciting.
Was sent up some endorphins, and I think it helped. Right. So, thanks, Mohan.
In fact, I was falling asleep at the beginning before the meeting, before Mohan started. Then I woke up.
Thank you, Mohan.
Now, what can anybody do to get nicely involved in this type of thing?
You know, I went to Sacramento.
Is a mentor for Nicey.
The only
Nicey is a mentor for wines for Karunian.
You know,
I met Nicey in Sacramento. I had dinner with the guy. I made it a point to contact him. He came and we all sang. I have some videos of his singing and all that. I sent.
Can you sing for us at the end of next meeting?
When I said Nicey, this is a fantastic group, join. Finally, I had to sort of tell him, come on, John. He said, okay. And he said he has difficulty with the computer. I said, I'll help you with that. And then I called the guy twice. He didn't answer.
Who is the closest to him?
Mohanlals,
remember, Milroy Fernando said he will talk.
And Milroy also has tried and he hasn't. I've been in touch with Milroy off and on, and he also hasn't quite been able to connect. But I'll talk to Milroy. But Mohan, can you call the guy and persuade him?
Persuade him to sing one song at the end of your Don's presentation on medical education through years, and he can sing.
Karunian, you want me to contact Nicey?
Yeah. Nicey.
Yeah, I have told him once. I think his problem is not wishing to use.
No, he's a technology problem.
He doesn't want to use the computer.
Oh boy.
Okay, can you guys? Okay, on it.
I can give him one-to-one. Do you have his number?
I have his number.
Can you send it to me? I'll talk to him.
Okay.
I'll give him a lesson from today to.
No, can you guys see this?
About 2 years before COVID, I spent a few days with Nicey in Sacramento.
That's Nicey there.
He still plays the guitar and all that, but he has given up medicine completely.
No, it's not medicine. We want him to participate. That's the main thing.
He retired at 45.
No, he was at 60 when he retired. But the guy has stopped medicine. He doesn't think of medicine.
He has, he's not really interested in talks or anything like that. But he's
not
still
talk, but
singing.
Maybe he can talk. Maybe he can talk on wines of the world.
Yeah, it's okay.
Wine and dogs are his two passions.
He can talk on God. He can give a good talk on dogs.
That will be very good. That will be very good.
That will be good. Yeah.
He can sing about the dogs as well. Listen, can you please kindly send me his number? I'll add him to the. I'll get him on to the.
I will send it as well, Maruf.
Yes, please. And Karunian, you have the latest numbers? Any other numbers or?
Yeah. I will share it with you.
Actually, there are a lot of things you can learn about dogs, and maybe he can go through those and give us a resume of how to look after dogs.
You can add about Liz and your dog.
Just to change the subject a little, I'm reading a book called The Code Breaker. It is a story of the lady who got the Nobel Prize. Okay, it is a story of a lady by the name of Jennifer Doudna, who is a professor at Berkeley, who got the Nobel Prize for CRISPR, the gene editing tool. And it's a fascinating book, and it tells you.
I think you add it to our group WhatsApp so that everybody will know the name.
Yeah, I will read, but I would strongly recommend anyone with a medical background to read that, because it delves into the world that we never knew of. It's very well narrated by a biographer by the name of Walter Isaacson. But I would really urge, it's about the new stuff, is RNA and CRISPR and the Cas9 enzymes and so on. I'm learning. I'm more than anything else. I'm educating myself. But the book, and there's another book that is on the horizon. I'm sure it's going to be nice, which is called The Song of the Cells by this fellow Mukherjee. The fellow who wrote the book Gene and Emperor. Anyway, I'm just thought I'd share that. Any of you who are into reading, by CRISPR, by Codebreaker. It's really, really fascinating book.
So, Karunian, isn't it a good idea?
What's the author? Who's the author?
This is written by a fellow called Walter Isaacson, who is a famous biographer. He's written on Einstein. He's written on a couple of other personalities. He's a biographer. He's a writer. But the stories are centered around this lady called Jennifer Doudna, who was given the Nobel Prize for CRISPR. CRISPR is the gene editing tool that can cut a gene and change the gene.
Yes, I know.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, Karunian, was, isn't it a good idea for somebody who is good at reading new books and this and that to give a summary of what the book says? No,
we can do.
I think Karunian can do that.
I read here and there, but the two books, the other book, anyway, coming of books, I haven't read the book, it's not out yet, but I would suggest everyone reads it. It seems a wonderfully written book. The fellow who got the Booker Prize, you know what the Booker Prize is?
Yeah, the Sri Lankan.
The Sri Lankan guy. You got it, the Seven Moons of Mara. Yeah, I haven't ordered it yet because when I went soon after I saw his speech.
I saw it in newspapers in London.
But I read the book of the fellow last year. Well worth reading. Passage.
Yeah, he has two books. Last year also he won the Booker Prize.
No. He didn't win the book. Last year Booker Prize finalist was a fellow called Anu Karupwasam.
Right.
Anu Karupwasam's uncle was in my wife's batchmate. He was in medical school. So Anu's book was on Passage North. It's on the conflict, and his take on the conflict is really very well written, extremely philosophical and very deep book. Passage North. I read that book. Now I'm waiting for this book to read. And
put those three books in the list.
It gives an idea about.
Did you all read the Karunian? Did you read the book I told you?
Which one?
Madman English. The Professor and the Madman.
Professor and the Madman. I went and looked it up. But I haven't read that. Yeah, Professor and the Madman is.
And then there's another nice book by the former Old Tomian Booker Prize winner Michael Ondaatje, who's about my age, and you were in school.
Yeah, I read. Ondaatje.
Anil's Ghost. No, Anil's Ghost.
Anil's Ghost. I read Anil's Ghost.
Oh, that's a good book.
I read Anil's Ghost, and I read it long ago. Huh?
I think I'm going to send a list of books that have been mentioned so far. We can add on.
English Patient was the one that got him a lot
of... Amazing book.
The Sri Lankan who won the Booker Prize, he has his other book, you might have heard of it.
Yeah,
it's called The Chinaman.
Right.
Yeah.
The Chinaman, that's the one. Yeah.
Anybody who likes cricket should read that, because that was sort of referred to as the second best book on cricket written in recent times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I know it's Anil's Ghost I read long ago.
A very nice book.
Yeah, and the fictional. Some of his representation of the North was, I didn't agree with it. I mean, it is his impressionistic thing. It was very romantic and more propagandist than factual, but it was good. But English Patient, I didn't read, but I saw the movie. English Patient, and he's of course got big.
There is a nice movie on YouTube you can watch. I watched it actually in the Saudi Airlines. It is a Tamil movie with subtitles. It is how India, which was not recognized at all, Asian countries were not recognized at the cricket at that time in 1983 so much, and it's a true story of how they won. Against all odds, they won the World Cup in 1983. It's a movie and a beautiful one. Those who are interested in cricket can watch it. It's a real But they are talking in Tamil, of course. because that was a Tamil film that they made. I think they made it in several languages.
Okay. Any other ideas? Please share. Please share.
Okay.
I was about to ask Benita about medical education. I think she had been a dean.
Oh, yes.
And then I just heard that
implementing new curriculum.
She had gone for conferences about medical education. My 54 years of medicine is that in modern medicine, the medical students are not taught or told of how communication between a doctor and a patient is very important. And my observation is it is not very much taught about in medicine. I think, can you make a comment about that, Benita, if you can, please?
No, I think that's a bit wrong. Shall I put it this way?
Yes.
Those days we studied, we didn't have that. Now it's a subject.
Yeah, it is an important subject.
Medical ethics, medical education, and how the communication, they have it. Plus, they have like in the examination also like an OSCE where they have both. They during the exam, like 1 or 2 stations, the examiner watches you talking to maybe not an actual patient in about one, and they
actors. They put actors on.
They act, but at the end of the day, you see, you know what happens to that is whatever you can teach, you can take the horse to water, nothing happens. You know, it comes to a stage, they're all running, and all what we feel is that when we worked, we loved the work, we loved the patients, we worked like that. It has changed a bit. And more, I don't know whether it's a monitoring part or whether they don't have time. There is no communication. Practically, very, very little communication between the patient and the doctor. That's that art of, coming, because therapy is not only medicine, no, it's talking and interacting with the patient, so the patient trusts you and takes a bit of time, and
building trust.
That they pay that with a little sum for the time. It is not for a diagnosis. It's that time. They don't. They just write something and say, go. It's bad, but I don't know how you change it, because depending on how from what type of background the students are coming, and whatever that is, they have half militants, and I don't know. Somewhere we have lost that trend where we had earlier. Everywhere you turn, it's those days, if it's a doctor, everybody respected, they'll talk. Nowadays, everybody curses.
Benita, here is your subject.
Listen, gentlemen.
Communication in healthcare.
Yeah.
You can prepare something.
I have to, I have to leave. I have to travel. I have to drive to Northern California in a little while, and sleep. So I'm going to sleep. But you all carry on.
It's that's the cover of the book.
7 moons of them.
When you got it from Amazon, is it?
I got it from Amazon. It's
a come only
335 pages.
Yeah. Amazon, in fact, I want to get that.
Yeah, Banda was saying about I handed the other book.
I do a lot of reading on the thing. I'll possibly get the audible, because I drive a lot. Now going to Northern California, I'll go on and go. But I'll read that. It's very interesting.
Sounds interesting. I just
very interesting. Yeah. And Chinaman.
Now, what about
Mohan? Thank you very much, Mohan. Wonderful story and wonderful life.
Thank you.
But you guys can continue. And Banda, you let me know, Banda.
Maruf, Maruf, is there anywhere you can kindly send me Banda's email?
Banda's email?
Yeah.
Actually, I can send it to you.
You can, yes. Okay.
Karunian, yes.
Karunian,
no update on recent politics in America, Pelosi's husband and all that, no?
Oh, that's nice.
It's a very depressing story
very bad.
of what's happening, especially with Elon Musk taking over Twitter. The whole presentation of thing, and also the Democrats, the polls. We can only go by polls. The polls show the Democrats who were surging have now gone down. So at least I'm hoping the Senate will be in their control. But even that is now all kinds of things are happening. So it's a very, very disturbing story. And, we will go through, I mean, when I look at the whole country from my lived experience here, maybe we can give a talk on my different impressions of the country. We are going through a dark phase. We are going through, and not only us, you see in
Sri Lanka, UK.
In Brazil, for instance, and in Brazil, I think epitomizes the fundamental forces at play. Bolsonaro is a rogue. He talks, all kinds of crazy guy. And Lula is a populist. He's worked hard, but it's a contest. The fact that it is a contest is very depressing, but it's not done yet. But religion is brought in. Religion is utilized even in this country.
Can I warn you that we are on Zoom, and I need to close the Zoom in that case.
Okay.
We are discussing little outside the allowed thing. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to leave, and Mohan will talk another day.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks a
The
lot.
longest one today, almost nearly 3 hours, but out of which 20 minutes or 30 minutes were on high.
Thank you, Maruf. No problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All the best to you.
It's almost time for me
See you
to
on
have
the 10th of December.
Yes, please. I also like
10th
to take
of December.
all the
10th
best.
of December, remember.
Yeah, 10th of December. See you
See
guys.
you,
4th of December is Aisiri's birthday.
Bye, Benita.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, Maruf, please send the date a couple of days earlier, please.
No, I'll send it to you as soon as possible.
Good.
See you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Manu. Thank you.
Hey, Paddy, you are the last.
Yeah. All right, Maruf.
Okay.
It was a good presentation by Mohan.
Mohan, yeah. See you soon, yeah? On the 10th of December.